Let's completely change the way we look at existence today. We're decoding the cinematic majesty of creation itself, essentially translating the ancient Zohar into the ultimate blueprint of cosmic engineering. Instead of picturing reality as just, dirt and empty space, imagine it as a dynamically rendering system, a 4K heritage-style masterpiece where a single blinding point of light continuously expands into the vast heavens above and the meticulously structured earth below.
Here is our system schematic for today's journey. First, the flash of divine insight. 2. Compiling cosmic source code. 3. The Sephirotic tech stack. 4. Server and client environments. 5. Live updates of creation. And 6. Upgrading your own dimensions.
Section 1. The Flash of Divine Insight. If we really want to understand the origin of literally everything, we have to look at this foundational baseline text, "The Lord founded the earth by wisdom," or in the original Hebrew, Chokhmah. The ancient Zohar hones in on this specific verse to explain that creation absolutely wasn't just some haphazard explosion, it was highly intentional. All worlds, both the infinite upper realms and our finite lower ones, are built upon this singular foundational element of wisdom. But what does wisdom actually mean in a cosmic sense?
Well, the crucial point here is that Chokhmah acts as the ultimate source code kernel from which all reality compiles. Close your eyes for a second and visualize this. Imagine an absolutely pristine, concentrated, pure flash of colorless white light. It doesn't have a shape yet, there are no boundaries, but packed within that single, radiant pixel is the compressed data for every star, every planet, every blade of grass, and every human soul. It is the absolute core kernel of the operating system of existence.
It is honestly fascinating to track the math here and watch how a single point of wisdom scales up into a complete 10-dimensional system. The texts describe Chokhmah as the Hebrew letter Yod, which is basically just a single suspended dot. Now that one point of wisdom pushes outward, creating two distinct pathways of expansion. From there, it geometrically blossoms into 32 interconnected paths of cosmological compilation, what the mystics call the 32 paths of wisdom. Ultimately, this entire sequence unfolds into 10 complete Sephirot. From one single dot, we get the entire structural geometry of reality.
Section 2. Compiling cosmic source code.
Having an infinite point of light is incredible, right? But without a way to process it, it's basically a massive zip file that you can't even open. And that brings us to Binah, or understanding. Think of Binah acting exactly like a modern compiler in software engineering. The Zohar explains that Binah takes that blinding, condensed kernel of Chokhmah and unpacks it. It actively reads the source code and expands it into structured, usable environments. Binah is that underlying cognitive architecture that says, okay, let's process this raw data and actually build a universe.
Section 3. The Sephirotic tech stack.
To truly grasp the exhaustiveness of these mechanics, we can map out the Kabbalistic tree of life like a literal, functioning tech stack. We start right at the top, with Chokhmah, our core kernel. The data is instantly routed through Binah, the compiler, which expands it. Then it flows down into Sephirot, which is the harmonizing structure that balances all that raw power with parameters like mercy and boundaries. And finally, it downloads into Malchut, the actual manifestation. That's the physical client interface that we experience every day as our world.
Let's visualize this sequence in glorious high definition. Imagine at millisecond 1, there's a singular, blinding flash of pure white light at the level of Chokhmah. At millisecond 2, that light diffuses and expands through the compiler of Binah. And by millisecond 3, it cascades down the entire system, refracting exactly like a prism into structured, majestic colors across the whole Sephirotic tree. It's literally translating colorless divine insight into the vibrant, multi-layered reality of Sephirot and Malchut.
Section 4. Server and client environments.
Now let's translate this parallel construction of the upper heavens and lower earth into concepts that will instantly click for any tech or gaming enthusiast. The ancient texts explicitly state that the heavens and the earth were built in parallel. You can view this through a video game lens, where a central energy crystal procedurally generates interconnected sky and ground worlds. Or you can look at it through a cosmic engineering lens, where a core kernel system maintains distributed server environments up above and client environments down below. Both analogies hit the nail on the head. The upper and lower worlds are completely synchronized.
Section 5. Live updates of creation.
This brings us to a seriously mind-bending realization. We are arriving at the sod, the deep secret, of how reality is actually sustained. He renews the work of creation every day, constantly. The ancient sources reveal that creation was absolutely not a one-time event that happened billions of years ago. Instead, streams of illumination are continuously flowing, rebuilding creation moment by moment. If the cosmic system stopped rendering, even for a single microsecond, the universe wouldn't just pause, it would entirely cease to exist.
So, how does this constant renewal happen? The texts call it Ratzon, or divine will. Ratzon is that eternal, rhythmic renewal pulsing through all layers of existence. Think of it as continuous live updates or firmware patches being pushed out from the cosmic cloud. Without it, the universe gets the ultimate blue screen of death. It's what keeps both the upper server environments and our lower client environment perfectly alive, synchronized, and constantly refreshing.
Section 6. Upgrading your own dimensions. To wrap up today, let's bring these massive macrocosmic mechanics right down to your daily microcosmic human experience. Because, this isn't just cool theory, it's intensely practical. How you align your personal client environment with the ultimate source code. The mystical texts insist that we humans are not just passive observers sitting on the sidelines, we are active nodes within the system. When you deeply understand that the universe is constantly compiling wisdom into reality, you can actively align your daily actions and thoughts with that core kernel. Ask yourself, are the live updates you're pushing out into your community harmonious with the original source code? That is the ultimate challenge. If reality truly is a continuous live update, the biggest question is, what kind of code are you going to write into the system tomorrow? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.